My Weird School Fast Facts. Space, Humans, and Farts. Written by Dan Gutman. Pictures by Jim Pellot. Chapter 4. Does matter matter? Everything in the world is made of something we scientists call matter. Okay, that makes no sense at all. Does matter matter? Yes, matter is an object that has mass and occupies space. Many scientists believe there's a limited amount of matter in the universe. Wait, I don't get it. If there's only a limited amount of matter in the universe, how do you explain those all-you-can-eat buffets? Wait, what? Very funny, Arlo. Let Mr. Docker explain. Let me put it this way. An atom is the smallest particle of a substance that exists. Atoms are really tiny. In fact, 1,000,000 atoms would fit on the head of a pin. Wow, that's Mom upside down, by the way. And atoms are made up of even smaller particles called protons, electrons, and neutrons. When two or more atoms join together, they're called a molecule. Let's look at the most common type of molecule that you kids might be familiar with. A pizza molecule? Actually, I was thinking of a water molecule. My mom told me that water is also called H2O. Yes, H2O is the chemical symbol for water. One molecule of water is made from 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. Water is cool because you can drink it, and you can also go ice skating on it. Not only that, AJ, but water also makes clouds in the sky. Huh? What? You see, matter can take 3 forms: solid, liquid, or gas, and water is the only substance on Earth that naturally exists in all 3 states. First, of course, it's a liquid, which we can drink, wash ourselves with, swim in, water the lawn with, and things like that. In most cases, if it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit, water turns into a solid, ice. You can put ice in a drink to cool it, or put it on a sprained ankle to reduce the swelling. Or go ice skating on it. Right, and if you put a pot of it on the stove and heat it to 212 degrees Fahrenheit, it boils and it turns into a gas, water vapor. On hot, humid days, you can feel the water vapor in the air. When it rises higher and cools off, it will become a cloud. Clouds are just billions of water droplets that join together and float in the air. But mostly, you can't see water vapor. It's invisible. Can you kids come up with any other fast facts about water? Yes, we can live without food for about 2 months, but we can only live about a week without water. Almost 70% of our planet is covered with water. Almost all that water is salt water in the oceans. We can't drink it. Only about 3% is fresh water, drinkable water, and most of that drinkable water is frozen in the Arctic and in Antarctica. So only about 1% of the world's water is available as drinking water. All the water that exists on Earth has been here for billions of years, and we're not getting any more, so don't waste it. Turn off the faucet when you're brushing your teeth. Stop leaks. Take shorter showers. Tell Mom and Dad to fill the dishwasher before running it. Very good. Snow is made of water too, you know. Snow falls when water vapor attaches to dust particles in the air and freezes. If you look at a snowflake under a microscope, it's a 6-sided crystal, and every single one of them is different. I have one more question about water. If a water molecule is made from 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen, does that mean I'm drinking hydrogen every time I take a gulp of water? Yes, hydrogen occurs naturally as a gas, and it is the lightest thing in the world. Years ago, they used to fill blimps with hydrogen to keep them up in the air. The problem is that hydrogen burns very easily. After a famous blimp called the Hindenburg exploded in 1937, they stopped using hydrogen for that purpose. But the nice thing about hydrogen is that it makes no pollution when it burns. Someday we may have cars that run on hydrogen. So what keeps blimps up in the air today? I know, helium, like the stuff they put in balloons. It's the second lightest gas. It keeps balloons aloft because it's lighter than air. How did you know that, Arlo? I read it in a book about helium. It was such a good book that I couldn't put it down. Very funny, Arlo. I have a question. Why does helium make your voice sound funny when you inhale it? You kids have a lot of questions. I like that. Because helium is so light, if you breathe it in, the sound waves in your vocal tract travel through it faster, more than twice as fast. So you are changing the gas molecules in your vocal tract and increasing the speed of the sound in your voice. Breathing in helium can be funny at a party, but be careful because if you breathe in too much of it, it can be dangerous. It's much smarter to breathe air. Andrea is filled with hot air. I'm surprised that she doesn't rise up off the ground. I'm just going to ignore that, Arlo. Oxygen is probably the most important thing on Earth. If you don't breathe it, you die. All living things use it. In the water, fish absorb it using their gills. But air isn't made of just oxygen. It's made of oxygen, nitrogen, and also small amounts of 13 other gases. Like krypton. Krypton, that's where Superman came from. Hey, learning about atoms and stuff is cool. Atoms are a lot like you, Arlo. Why? Because they can't sit still. Oh, snap, in my face. That's true, Andrea. Atoms are always moving around. The faster an object's atoms move, the more heat it has. If we could get atoms to stop moving, the object would be completely cold. That temperature would be absolute zero, minus 459.67 degrees Fahrenheit. Try this. Take a can of soda outside. Shake it up good. Be careful. Pull the tab. What happens? Gases can expand and contract. When you pump air into your bike tire, you're squeezing that air into a smaller space. Carbon dioxide gas has been squeezed inside your soda can under pressure. When you shake the can and open it, the gas bubbles expand quickly and shoot the soda out the opening. Try this, too. Drop a Mentos candy into a bottle of Diet Coke. The candy looks smooth, but there are lots of tiny holes in it. Bubbles form around it. They want to get out. The Mentos is heavy, so it sinks to the bottom of the bottle. The bubbles turn to foam, the pressure builds, and then bam! Scientists call this nucleation. I call it fun.